We're going to have a look at what happens when somebody's horrible to you, whether they're a bully and malicious, or they've said or done something that hurt you and actually they didn't intend it but it's bothered you. So in those situations we can end up feeling angry, hurt, but we can also feel things like shame and embarrassment and feel ridiculed, and we lose our power, even if in our rational brain we know that it's not our fault or they're being mean or whatever. All of that rational stuff goes to pot when we really feel it in our hearts, and it affects how we feel about ourselves. So I'm going to show you a technique that just sorts all of that out, and I hope you enjoy it. So I want you to think about somebody who recently or from a while ago has hurt your feelings. Somebody who was a bit of a bully, somebody who was playing the better than, less than game where, you know, instead of us all being equal, they're trying to make you feel down here and them up there. By the way, they only do that because actually they feel like it's that way to start with, and they want to knock you down a peg or two. And if that's what's happened, then we need to do something about it. So you're going to get as comfortable as you can. You're going to roll your shoulders a few times just to release the tension there, and then come to a settled spot. And I want you to close your eyes and imagine that person. Now this first bit might be a little bit tricky because you have to think about that person, but trust me, it's going to be worth it because it's going to get so much better. So I want you to imagine that they're there right now and they're saying the stuff in that voice with that face, the way that they do it, the stuff that has hurt your feelings and made you feel less than. And I want you to then take a nice long deep breath in through the nose and blow out through the mouth as if you're blowing that picture of them a little bit further away. And then take in another deep breath and blow them a bit further away. And then once more, breathe in and blow them a bit further away. And what we know about distance is when things are further away, they seem smaller and smaller. So imagine they're all the way over there, the size of a toddler. And maybe they're starting to behave a bit like a toddler. They're stamping their foot and being a bit grumpy, showing their true self, which is a little bit childlike. Now, let's imagine that they are a toddler and they're going to have a onesie to wear. And I want you to choose the onesie. It could be an animal or some kind of creature. It's going to be a full all-in-one thing with a hood. It might have ears, it might have a tail, it might be any particular colour, any type of animal. It could be anything you want it to be. And you get to choose the fit. Maybe it's really, really tight and it's kind of squeezed up around their face, or it's really, really baggy and it's got a big bum hanging out the back. It can be whatever you want it to be. So picture them in that onesie and just imagine how that would make them feel. Maybe they're stamping their foot even more like a toddler. And then I want you to think about something that they would usually say, something that would upset you, something that would come across in such a tone that it would affect you personally. Now, let's think about a time when you've been at a party. I'm sure you've been at one of those parties where there's helium balloons and some clever clown, usually me, sucks in on the helium balloon and it makes your voice go like this, really, really squeaky. So I want you to imagine that that person is trying to be all cross and hurtful and bossy and bullying, but everything they say comes out like this. So let's say, for instance, they've said something like, who do you think you are? Too big for your shoes and all that kind of thing. Too big for your boots, rather. It's all coming out like this. Who do you think you are? You're too big for your boots. And it's all coming out squeakier and squeakier. And the more cross they get, the more tantrumy they are, the funnier it looks. And you could give them a big red clown nose. You could stick some dealy boppers that bobble about on the top of their head. You can put big clown feet on them. You can do whatever. This is your picture. You create it. Now, take another deep breath. Blow them a bit further away. And then you realize that you're on a mountain top and you're looking down and they're way, way below you. And as you look down at your hands, they're not hands anymore, they're paws, because you are a mountain lion and you roar and they shiver. And you say, your ass is mine, sucker. or something like that. Notice how that feels. Take one more long, deep breath and blow them even further away. So they're a little speck on the horizon, and then take your finger and your thumb and flick them away. Just sit for a moment with your eyes gently closed, noticing how you feel. See if it feels as if there's a weight lifted, whether you feel clearer, whether you feel a little bit more humorous. And then let's clear our minds. I want you to picture a big blue sky, a kind of really gorgeous day where the sky's so clear there's not one cloud and there's a bright yellow sunshine shining down. So now we've thought about something else. I'd like you now to come back to thinking about that person and just notice what comes to mind. Hopefully it makes you smile. Hopefully it doesn't feel like they have the power now, maybe even feel like you have the power. It may have taken the sting out to such an extent that you can feel pity or even empathy for that person, that, you know, happy people don't do nasty things, so what's going on for them? They've got stuff of their own going on, and perhaps not many tools in their toolkit to cope with life in general and how to relate to people. So let's take a deep breath and let's breathe out a kind of forgiveness. We don't have to be their best friend, but we can forgive them, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve it. You deserve to let go of that tension. Shrug it off, roll your shoulders, shrug it off and let go. I hope that that has helped you feel a little bit brighter about whatever's going on or whatever went on. And you can repeat this exercise with lots of different people and just have fun with it. You're in charge, and you're in charge of what happens in your own mind. So don't let the bullies live rent-free in your mind, because there's no space there. You need all the space for all your wonderfulness. I hope you've had fun. I hope it's helped, and I hope you remember to find lots of different ways to look after your very precious self. Take care.